That, and I will say this, I've been fortunate enough to, Charlie, as an entrepreneur, to go through some cycles where I've built a business, sold it, built a business, sold it. And people have always asked me before, like, what's been the best part? And I've said, honestly, it is a journey. So I had the bumper sticker way before you, just so you know. And in my mind, I thought, I was always excited. Growing up in Chicago, I always had like this poster in my room, and it was a picture of a Ferrari. And I just remember, man, one of these days, Charlie, I'm going to make enough to buy a Ferrari. And I remember when I bought my first Ferrari, having an exit. And I think a lot of people here that do know me a little bit know that I'm a car guy. And I remember getting in, I'm like, this is so cool, right? First day, I've made it. And the second day was like, that's pretty cool. And then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, totally cool. A month later, Charlie, I was like, it's a car. And it was so wild to me how anticlimactic and fast that was. And so when you say journey, I have a good friend, and I think many of you have met her today, but she just went through a business sale as well. And she's like, man, I'm reminiscing the last 25 years building my business. And I feel like I appreciate more the journey of having gotten here than actually have gotten here to where I sold. Right?
And you need to enjoy every day, therefore, because the reward is actually the process. It's the process of solving problems. And there's a reason why you're on your third fund, Andrew, because after your second or first second one, like, okay, fine, you can go retire. Like, okay, that's not what life's about. It's about value creation. It's about pouring into people. It's about making people's lives better. And I think that's always lost because the outside world that is anti-entrepreneur, or at least value neutral entrepreneur, they're like, oh, it's all about the money. I mean, look, yeah, that's a way to kind of token. It's a way to tokenize and measure your success, obviously. No one here should be against it, but we would all say that it's about the team, too. I mean, I look at my team, I'm like, I'll go to war with these guys. I'm sure you feel the same, right? Like, put me up against any other competitor, and we will crush you because we've been through so much together.
That's right. That's what galvanizes the team.
Yes, exactly. And the memories that are created and the connectivity, right? That's what life is really about. At its core, it's about relationships. And that's what, as an entrepreneur, it's like you don't want to be a lonely entrepreneur. I learned that. You don't want to be.
You want people around.
In fact, if you are a lonely entrepreneur, it's like probably won't work very well, honestly, unless you're an incredible whiz kid engineer that has a gizmo better than anybody else. But you guys largely in the restaurant space are in the relationship business. That is.
We are in
It's tight margins. It's knowing customers' names. It's knowing your employees. You have a tough day, bad day, you're going through divorce, and someone just break up. You're like, that's what it's all about, right? And it's not just about maximizing the bottom line, which of course is part of it. But I bet everyone in this room would agree that what is the most precious thing you have? It's the team. It's the human beings that actually make it happen.
100%. So moving forward to building a lasting brand. Okay. So all of us are trying to build brand. We're trying to tell stories. We're trying to get you and your family, Charlie, to come to our restaurants.
You've been successful so far.
Okay, good. But we want you to keep coming back. And so how do you build a lasting brand? What are the table stakes for building a lasting brand in your mind?
So I'm trying to think of how to apply it towards restaurants. So I'll just probably broaden it, and you guys, I mean, look, first of all, don't overcomplicate it. Don't do Cracker Barrel. That would be my first piece of advice. So if you have a brand that everyone likes, don't change it, right? So please don't change Hash Kitchen.
Yeah, we're not going to.
It works too well. So don't do that. But honestly, when it comes to a brand, it has to be something, and I'm constantly trying to build brands. It has to have a missional statement as to why or what you are doing, especially when you're trying to have employees, that it's not going to just be enough as a job. They want to feel as if they're part of something, they're building something. That's something that's really changed the last 30 or 40 years, especially when you're adding kind of younger employees. But look, the cliche stuff, building on social media, building on digital media, all that stuff matters. But even beyond that, like building a brand that will last and that will be durable, it needs to be connected towards the founder's energy and vision. And sometimes, honestly, if you're at like a couple dozen locations, it's okay if the founder is associated with that brand. If I think about the local restaurants that are not scaled, I know the owner of those restaurants. And I go to them because I'm treated well, and I know that he's in the kitchen constantly hawking the quality. And it's definitionally like not just corporatized. And so when you're trying to build a brand, one of the hardest things for an entrepreneur, and we have not done this successfully yet, is separating the brand from the founder. It's very, very hard. I'm not convinced you have to do that.
No, I don't think so.
Right? I mean, I maybe again, like you get to a Chipotle, to your point, or you get to an In-N-Out burger. Like, okay, eventually, but honestly, I would argue it kind of happens naturally at that point, right?
Yeah, it does.
But I don't think like the kind of doctrinaire corporate approach is, well, you know, I'm a private equity investor and we're investing in this restaurant and we need to make sure it's not too reliant on the founder. I get that, but honestly, I don't think that's necessary.
I don't either.
In fact, I think it actually might be unhealthy if that entrepreneur is the face on social media, is the one that can best describe it, that can best sell it to investors and to bankers and to future customers. For sure. Right? And so as it comes to I think that there is an inescapable bond between the entrepreneur and the brand that I think that far too often the experts in the corporate world want to try to separate, and I actually don't think that should happen as much.
I agree.